Hi, I'm Heidi Waldoch, licensed marriage and family therapist and owner of Bridging Hope Counseling. Today, we're going to be talking about how to change your lens with problems. I want to thank you so much for those of you who shared our last video and who also liked it. We have also launched a YouTube channel, so I would invite you to head on over to YouTube and look for Bridging Hope Counseling and click subscribe. I actually put the link on this posting as well. So I appreciate all of you who are visiting with me here today and excited to talk about this topic that I am really excited about. So what I want to step into is how we can actually learn to change our lens with problems. So I want you to picture being in your car and driving, and you're in traffic, and somebody almost cuts you off. And if you didn't notice it, you would have gotten an accident. Your heart is beating really fast. Okay, you're noticing you're starting to sweat. You're feeling very scared because this really could have been an accident. What the heck happened? How can they do that? Doesn't this person know what the heck they did? Okay, they need to be taught a lesson. People cannot be doing this. So you vent profanities and screaming things. This goes on for at least 5 to 10 minutes. If somebody's lucky and they call you during this time, they get to hear what you have to say, and of course they're going to agree with you. So of course that feels amazing because they're going to agree. When you get to your destination, you then also vent at your destination, and that feels great because everyone agrees with you and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. This isn't okay. Total amount of time spent on this almost accident, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. It just depends. Looking back, how do you feel? Does it feel good? Do you feel relieved, avenged, justified? Okay. I want you to take a moment and really honestly think about how you actually feel. Has your life improved? So today I'm going to challenge this completely, and I want you to keep an open mind. I think when people start talking the way I'm talking today, we can get very offended. Okay, so I'm asking you to really, really keep an open mind and think about what I'm saying just with you alone. I think if we talk about this with other people, this is where we can get offended very easily. So just think about this with yourself and how you are feeling with your own mental health. So I'm going to challenge, here's my challenge, that hour and a half of venting and grumbling actually made your life worse. It made your mood worse and your soul worse. Okay? It was only a quick fix. And it actually made you feel revenged and relieved in the moment. And even though your heart rate probably decreased, so that's one benefit that I would say that it does, is that it actually impacts other people in your life. It impacts your mental health. Because what you're doing is you're teaching your body and your brain and your soul to respond that way every single time a problem happens. So when something like that happens, you're teaching it that I need to vent, I need to grumble to be able to get to peace. And so what happens is your brain and your body gets used to that, and it's just this pattern of this is what I need to do, which means that's going to happen and that's going to be around you every time that happens. So let's go back to this situation that I was talking about. That other person doesn't really care. They don't know who you are. They're never going to see you again. And it's most likely not something that they even know about, or if they do know about it, they didn't even really mean to, or maybe they did mean to, and we can't control that. Maybe they come from a really tough meeting at their kid's school, or at work, or maybe they lost a loved one, or maybe they did learn a lesson because somebody else was driving in the car with them and gave them the same verbal beating that you maybe would have if you were with them. So they did learn a lesson, okay? We just don't know. And if you truly, truly want to make a difference with something like this, you can join the police force, work for the DMV, get on the city council, or maybe some other thing where you can actually make a difference. I am 100% for justice and making an impact in this world, but where it actually matters and where it actually helps you, okay? So I want you to think about how this situation actually applies into other places in your life. Like I was saying, it's this pattern that happens that we think this is how we need to deal with issues. This is what makes us feel better. Okay? Where are you trying to teach other people a lesson? Okay, with your cutting looks or verbal comments or just kind of venting, okay? Or perhaps like maybe ignorance. The problem that I'm talking about is where the other person is clearly in the wrong. Okay, so the situation I'm talking about, it's not okay that this driver did this. They were clearly not paying attention. It's not okay. It's not cool. However, the person and the behavior is the problem, not the person inside, not who they are. I'm not immune to this. Okay, I do this myself. This is why I'm talking about this. If my husband contradicts himself, I think I want to teach him a lesson that if he changes, things will be better. I'm good. I am fine. He's the one that needs to change. How often do we spend soaking in this? Even just like thinking about these kinds of things. Just talking about this too, just like flips my stomach around because it's not who I am. It doesn't feel right. I do still mess up. I still attack other people. It's not what my intention is. I love my husband. I love the people around me and the people that I work with, my friends, my family, no matter what, even if they mess up. Okay. I want to bring light into this world, not darkness, even when things come my way. Okay, I want to extend the same grace to others that I want people to extend to me. And the only way we can do this is we start by shifting our lens and we start to shift this and we start to change. Okay, and I am all for people communicating if I did something wrong, but wouldn't we prefer them to communicate it in love, not in criticism? So here's my question to you. Do you honestly think you're improving your life? When you're venting emotionally after a little situation happens, either on the road with a loved one or at work, someone has clearly done something wrong. You can feel it, you can feel it needs to get out. And I want to give you some alternatives. I want to try to see if you can shift your lens so that it naturally becomes more peaceful for you to be able to move through these things, and it improves your mental health. And I want to give a warning, if any of you are experiencing real abuse, emotional, physical, any kind of abuse, that is not what I'm talking about. That is a situation that you need to get out of. I'm merely talking about day-to-day issues and problems that arise, that we deal with all the time. Even just like watching the news, we sometimes will vent. So I'm going to give you 5 of them, and all 5 of these can be used interchangeably. You can just use one of them. You can use a couple of them. Some of them are just fine by themselves. All right, so the first way that we can learn how to change our lens with problems is validate yourself and the situation. So in the case of somebody cutting you off when you're in traffic, you can say, oh my gosh, I almost got in an accident. I'm feeling scared and my heart is beating fast and I can't believe that just happened. Okay. If it's about a loved one, you can say, I'm confused by what they're saying. I'm feeling really, really hurt and I need some clarification. I'm struggling with this. Okay, you don't have to ignore that something isn't okay, but you want to start with connecting how you're feeling. This shifts that venting to purposeful validation, which is extremely efficient for your mental health. Okay, so we want to switch this. We want to start shifting our brain. So number 2, the problem is the problem. We don't want to be attacking people. This does not improve the situation. It only actually brings them down and it brings you down. We're going to have issues with other people. It is part of life. We can't avoid that. Okay? We can't have expectations that problems aren't going to happen. So it only just causes more hurt. When we attack the person, it just spins the situation around and around and around, and nothing actually gets solved. Number 3, flip your lens to see the other person as valuable. They are important. They are human. Most people are doing the best they can with what they have. Okay, we want to get curious. We want to wonder what is going on with them. What else is happening in their life that this situation happened? Okay, and instead of attacking, let's just learn to start to wonder and kind of get curious. This unfolds possibilities instead of more problems. Princess Diana was quoted saying that the greatest problem in the world today is intolerance. Everyone is so intolerant of each other. So we need to shift towards being kind and being loving towards other people, no matter what, and then draw boundaries where boundaries need to be drawn. Number 4, sometimes just be silent. We feel like we need to say something about everything and every single situation that happens, that we need to fix this and fix that person or this problem. And sometimes just don't say anything. Sometimes being silent is the best answer. People usually know when they're doing something wrong. They usually know when they've made a mistake or did something that they shouldn't have done. They don't need us coming up behind them and reminding them. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is just be loving and supportive to other people, and they will see you as safe, and they will come back around to say, hey, I need some advice. I need to talk to you about something. Sometimes that's the most effective way to improve someone else's life. Okay, the other thing that it does is it allows you to kind of step back, and you naturally start to get curious, and you naturally start to wonder. Silence can solve a lot. Number 5, move on. Yep, move on. Just move on with your day, get back to work, get back to school, get back to whatever it is that you're doing. Forget about it. Sometimes we spend too much time spinning in these things, and you're going to find that you're not going to miss this grumbling or this venting or these aggravating moments. It might be hard at first, but when you move out of that space, you'll start to notice that you'll have more joy. And if you have more joy, you'll notice an improvement with your relationships and other things in your life. So honestly, as I'm saying this to you, I'm saying it to myself. I need to hear this too, okay? I need it. I can even feel a shift as I'm talking about this right now and giving this video. I want to love others and be kind to others no matter what. No matter if they make mistakes or no matter if they do something. We can't control other people. We can only control ourselves. And I want to be able to be like this because I'm going to be more at peace. One of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. This may seem very, very hard when you have a big fat issue right in front of you, but you want to try and see if you can shift. It actually moves things in your brain. And so naturally, your lens starts to shift. And when problems happen, you'll notice, wow, I didn't freak out like I did last time. Or I didn't even respond to that situation. And you'll start to notice that that lens shifts, and you're naturally more at peace, and you naturally have more joy. Problems stop becoming problems, and people start loving who they are and loving other people. I guarantee you're not going to miss the grumbling.